better? So I know you can probably hear the kettle in the background, but unfortunately I was a little stupid and forgot to turn it on, and now I'm late for work. So, no coffee for me. Sometimes that's life. No coffee this morning from home, but there's still work coffee, so I brought my mug, but work coffee's not the same as home coffee. So tonight's our monthly budget meeting where basically we just sit down and talk about our budget for the month, see if there's any expenses that either one of us have missed. We've been using every dollar for the past whole amount of time that we've been budgeting, so I'm going to change over to Mint just to see what the difference would be. That way I can do a little bit of a review for Mint as well, and maybe after a month or two I can give a comprehensive review of Mint versus every dollar. But now I gotta go get some coffee. Still no coffee. Finally lunchtime and I got some coffee. It's hot and not very good. Luckily, we got those little creamers. I am an advocate for black coffee when it is good coffee. When it is not good coffee, I don't have to stick to drinking bad bean water. Also, I have to waste one of these little cups every time that I get coffee, even though I bring my bigger cup, because my big cup doesn't fit under the Keurig. Coffee. Work day's over, made it through because I got my coffee. Now it's time to head home, and then we're gonna have a budget meeting. We're back home. Chris is just getting ready after a workout, and I actually have a meeting at 7. Right now it is 5:56, so I'm not sure if we're actually gonna eat dinner and do this meeting before that, or after the meeting, which would be at like 9 o'clock. But either way, here's a couple of thoughts that I have before you go into your first budget meeting with a partner. If this is the first budget meeting that you've ever done with somebody else, prepare for it to take a little bit of time. The first budget meeting that we ever had was in a Chick-fil-A in Lynchburg, Virginia, because I was in college and we were engaged just before we were engaged at the time. It was February 2018. It took us a really long time. I thought we were gonna stop in there, open our laptops, do a little bit. But if you've never really sat down and thought through all of your expenses, or thought through all of your expenses and all of somebody else's expenses, it's gonna take a little bit of time. But it's definitely worth it. If you didn't know, one of my favorite things in the world is chopping things up, whether, like, literally anything. If I'm at a meal and you need some help cooking, ask me to chop something. I will be a very happy man. I am messing this up big time. You just get to a point where you gotta eat the rest of it. So on top of it being longer than you expect it's gonna be for your budget meeting, prepare to fight a little bit. And that's honestly a good thing. When you're talking about money, you're talking about something that's really personal to somebody. And if you're married, if you're engaged, if you're managing your finances with somebody else, hopefully it's somebody that you really want to know on a personal level. So some things are going to be more important to one person and less important to another. For instance, I'm not the best person for saying this, but I don't necessarily prioritize eating healthy foods or even all the foods that I probably need. I care more usually about the money that I did the food, especially when I was in college. I was living off of, I think it was like $80 to $100 food budget per month. I mean, maybe $40, I don't even remember. But basically it's because I was working at Papa John's and eating Papa John's pizza for a couple of meals a day. So I was able to save a lot of money. Wasn't good for me. So one of the budget items that we talked about in our first budget meeting was food expenses. And obviously it was going to be more expensive than I had been living on because I should actually take care of myself, right? Yeah. She's good for me. A couple of other rapid fire things that you should consider when you're thinking about having your first budget meeting is how you want to actually manage your spending. Because budgeting is really a two-part system. You got to budget, and then separate from that, you have to actually track your expenses. Otherwise, your budget's just kind of a wish list. We've been using EveryDollar, and I like it a lot, but there are some things that I don't necessarily like about it, which is why I wanted to use this video to kind of test out Mint and see how that goes for a month or so.
Good to know.
Well, we're still going to go over our expenses the normal way, and then I'm going to transfer it into Mint because you don't really track our expenses. I do all of that, so. That's another thing, too. I used to be more anal about making sure that I tracked all my expenses and also Carissa tracked all of our expenses, which is not a bad thing, but she just doesn't like to do it, and I do like to do it. And so because of that, I would just look at our credit card statements and she would be cool with me texting her, hey, what's this charge for? Hey, what's this charge for? And then I would put it in our budget. And that's something that we found that really works for us. So talking even about doing Mint doesn't have any bearing on her at all because when's the last time you opened the EverDollar app?
I don't even have the login.
She
I
doesn't
can't even
even-
log in right now. It's the difference between you texting me, hey, did you put this in the budget yet? Or, hey, what is this for?
Yeah, that's fair.
It would be like 5 minutes after I make a purchase. You go, hey, did you track this yet? Did you put this in yet?
Yep.
I said, no more.
We didn't even really have a conversation about that. You just kind of stopped tracking it. And then one day I was just like, do you just not want to do this anymore? And she's like, yeah, I don't want to do this anymore. So she doesn't do it anymore. Now that we're doing it in a way that works for both of us, it's a really good thing. So let that be an encouragement to you. What are you making? Just some potato fries?
Yeah, and I think we have burgers still left over.
Oh, we have plenty of burgers. What else should we talk about for budget meetings? What else is important?
This is one thing that I do that you do not, which is what makes our budget meetings work out well, is I'm much more of a planner than you are. And so when I look at the month, I think, hey, we have Mother's Day coming up.
Yes.
Here are all of our friends' birthdays. Here, we said we wanted to go on a beach trip this month, like it's part of our goals. So I make sure that I have my calendar out in our shared calendar where I'm looking at all those dates and events that are going on.
Yeah, I don't do that. And so we would forget all the birthday presents and everything like that if it was just me. And then beyond that, another helpful thing is I love talking about money and talking about our budgets. And I could sit there and look at that for a couple hours. And she can't, which is a strength. And that means that our budget meetings aren't 3 hours long. So we're gonna finish making some dinner. And then this mango will be gone. And we'll catch up with our actual budget meeting. So we're out of buns and bread, but we have tortillas. And this probably isn't a good idea, but I'm gonna see if we can make some hamburger, cheese, sweet potato fry tortillas. Are you in to try it?
I'll try a bite.
What? Definitely should have shot that B-roll at 60 frames. I'm making you 2 tortillas, okay?
Can I have this one, the weird way you're doing?
Tell me if you think this looks good.
It does not look appetizing. Have you tried yours yet?
Nope. In all honesty, I do not think this is gonna be good. Don't try this at home,
It's not good.
but it's not the worst. You guys see her face, but she thinks it's the worst.
The fries are good.
The fries are good.
We shouldn't have done
We
those.
should have done that. I got a meeting in 5 minutes, so we're definitely gonna push this budget meeting to like 9:30. So we'll see you then.
Classic.
9:30, not 11:30.
Close enough.
Time to clean up the aftermath. Ring comes off, but don't forget to put it back on. Not that I've done that before. Not that Chris actually cares, but you know. Let me tee you up. If this is the wrong way to make tea, just tell me.
Gotta get my planner. Oh wait, there's no plans.
Welcome to our monthly budget meeting. Finally sitting down and doing it at like 9:45, so that's pretty appropriate. Basically, we're just gonna go over all of our expenses for this upcoming month. Like she said earlier, she's got her planner, so she'll be able to do that. Also, we're gonna be trying out the Mint app. I think I already have a login, but I'm not honestly 100% sure because I thought I had signed up before, but I don't know if I've ever actually used it. Also, I'm praying that we're in focus because since I'm new to this camera and cinematography in general, not quite sure how to focus on 2 people at once in a shot. So we'll see if this works out. Let me figure out how to screen record on here too. Man, I'm not set up. How to record your screen? How do I record my screen?
No secret.
How do I start it? Or is it already going?
So now press the. Oh, that's stop.
Oh.
Yeah, so it was recording.
Oh, frick. I don't know anything. I'm the technology wizard at my job. I'm normally pretty good.
Yikes.
Okay,
At
record
least-
it. Record. Okay, we're recording. That's what that little thing at the top
Yep.
says. Go to TurboTax. Let's see if I have any. sign in.
Is that what Mint's owned by?
Or sorry, Intuit. I say go to TurboTax.
Yeah.
Yeah, Intuit owns Mint as well as TurboTax as well as QuickBooks. Okay, sign in. This is so embarrassing. Can we be in work mode now?
I'm in work mode.
No, you're not.
Yeah, I am.
No, you're on Facebook. You're not in work mode.
Oh, you want me to switch my tab to my calendar so I can just scroll on that?
Yes. Oh, wow. Apparently I put all of my accounts on there already. Good to know. We're gonna create a budget. Choose a category. All right. Honestly, it's late. Oh, we're just gonna do our normal budget meeting because you don't have to sit through all this crap. All right, back to every dollar because I'm a klutz. One of the nice things about every dollar is that it automatically uploads your budget for the previous month. But I already did that, so I'm just gonna replace this budget and reset it because I cheated a little bit. And normally I will do that when we actually have our budget meetings. I'll normally have a budget completely laid out that we'll just go over and see if it's good. But since we're gonna do this from the top, we'll do it this way. Like I said in my last budget video, we like to under budget our income. So I'm gonna change from what we actually got paid last month to just a relatively close income for what that month is gonna be. My wife's work, and then my 2 paychecks, and then Carissa's side hustle, doing social media management. So if you need someone to do that, hit her up. We get paid 3 times this month, at least if you're on the same pay schedule as me. So I'm gonna have a third pay. Then we're gonna go into the next categories, and we have giving. Every month we just give our tithe, which is 10% of our income. We round that up and then we add a quarter because that's the processing fee for our ACH going to our church. So we'd rather just cover that. We have an extra $100 a month going towards giving, and then we have all of our savings. Our emergency fund is fully funded, so we're not putting anything in there. And then we put $1,000 into our IRA every month so that we can max them out every year. And then we have $300 going towards the house normally. But this month, because it's a 3-pay month, we're actually gonna go ahead and change that to $1,200. So one of those pays will go completely towards our house fund. Cool, so moving on to our housing, which is our electricity bill, $75 a month. It's normally a little bit less, but we like to over budget. Our rents, our other utilities, which is actually gonna go up a little bit. All of our utilities are going up by like $5 just because we're at home more. And then Wi-Fi for $50. And then I have to take tolls going into work. So in our transportation budget, we have tolls, maintenance of $50, and then gas of $200. Honestly, we use a lot of gas money for Uber Eats. We could have probably put gas for like $70 last month in April, but we'll just keep it at $200 and try not to spend it all on Uber Eats.
We'll see.
And then in our actual food category, we have our grocery budget, which is always $300, $25 towards coffee shops, and $100 towards eating out, and pretty much that $125 we can look at as Uber Eats budget. Then we have all of our personal expenses. Our phone is $175 a month for both of our phones. Our discretionary budget is $50 a month, which is probably gonna be Uber Eats. Personals budget, this toiletry stuff to keep us safe, toilet paper if we can ever find some. And then date fund to $50, which is also Uber Eats.
Sponsored by.
Yeah, exactly. And then a couple more just regular expenses are lifestyle expenses, Spotify Premium, and then this YouTube channel. I use $100 every month, either put it into a savings account that I have for this channel if I have big expenses, or when I want to go full time and have that emergency fund build up in the business, or I spend about $50 on a monthly basis on my Adobe Premiere Pro subscriptions, TubeBuddy, which helps me with keyword research, as well as for music for my videos. And then last but not least is insurance, because you need insurance. We have health insurance through her job. We have dental and vision through my job, and that all gets payroll deducted, so we don't even include it in our budget. But we have life insurance for both of us and auto insurance that's gonna get paid out. And then we have our spending plan at the bottom, which, like I said in my last video, is 10% giving, 10% vacation, 80% house. What am I missing?
My gym will most likely reopen in May, so we'll probably want to add that back in.
I don't even know if we're gonna go back to the gym, so we'll definitely take a look at what that looks like payment wise, but
I don't think you can freeze the account.
Gotcha. That makes sense.
Or like if you do, there's a fee or something. I don't know.
Yeah. We know that the gym, it's about $30 a month, $27.55 that we pay for her gym membership. Awesome membership, awesome gym, but we don't know if we feel safe enough to go back to the gym now, especially if they open up next week in early May, just because we don't have any vaccines or anything for this virus. We want to make sure that we stay safe above all else. So we'll add that in real quick to our lifestyle budget, which is normally where we have it. What else am I missing?
Mother's Day is the 10th.
Mother's Day is the 10th, and we both have mothers.
We do. I was thinking we could ship your mom.
Say $40 total?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's probably more than enough, but is there anything else?
Ethan's birthday. We're all chipping in for him.
How much are we chipping in?
I feel weird talking about this on camera. This is how much you're worth to us.
It's not true.
Do you want to do 25? I feel like that's normally a birthday budget for people.
It's normally 15, but we're on camera. So I'm just kidding. It's always
No,
25.
it's not.
Yeah.
I feel like we should probably have a byline for Cinco de Mayo, but
We have like $300 for Uber Eats. We're gonna go get our margaritas from Chili's so we get to go.
but maybe like okay.
Okay, fine.
That's fine.
I'll change $30 from gas to Cinco de Mayo. We don't need to add something in.
Fair enough. Yeah, that's it.
Cool.
Wait. Yeah, I think that's it.
Awesome. As you can see at the top here, we have $27.56 left to budget, it says. I used to be a big proponent of the zero-based budget, especially while we were getting out of debt. We would make sure that every dollar went to something in our budget items. We can do that, but we also have never gone out of budget except for in emergency situations, like when we had to get our car fixed, like I talked about in one of my videos. So this, we can just keep it here, $27.56 left to budget. If we really wanted to be a little bit anal about it, we could say $27.56 times 0.8, $22.05 towards our house, $2.75, $2.76. No, 1 more cent to giving, for sure. However, the way that I work out our budget, and I'll show you guys later in the month while I'm doing it, I call it an overage calculator. It's basically how much money we're gonna be able to squeeze out of our budget or how much extra income we have coming in. And that's what I do this spending breakdown. That's how we do our budget meetings. Anything else you wanna add?
It took like 10 minutes. Doesn't take long.
Yeah, it really doesn't take long. It'll take longer in the beginning stages of starting to do this. But, I mean, like you saw, you could just roll over the budget and every dollar. I'm sorry I was a little bit too inept to get mints, but I'll actually put that in the next vlog.
On the bright side, if you hate being trapped in by things like me, this can be, it's editable. You don't have to.
It's edible?
Editable. You can change it.
Editable.
You can change it.
It's edible. You can change it. I think that's a good note to stop this section of the vlog. As you can see, making your budget with a partner, with yourself, is a really simple process, especially after you've done it a time or two. So get the practice, start building wealth. Also, subscribe to my channel if you're new and you want some more vlogs. I will show you how I spend almost every single dollar for the rest of my life, or as long as I do this YouTube channel, which I plan to be a very long time. So subscribe if you're new, and leave a comment about what you want to see in the next vlog, or the next sit-down video, or the next anything. I'm just kind of rambling at this point, and that's okay. I'm still going to leave this in the video because you can tell me what to do. Bye.